Align, breathe, connect. It's always time for your best you. And today it's especially a good time because, as you can see, I've brought Lily with me again today. And of course, I've brought my dear friend who's offered her Lily to us today, Joan Kazmarzik.
Hello, everyone.
Joan's been with me several times on the programming, and we also have had Lily on before, but today's a special day because it's chakra number 4 and chakra number 5. And we have Valentine's Day coming up this Friday. So that puts it in the season of love.
Yes, it does.
And I know how much Joan loves her fur family.
Absolutely,
And
as do you.
Yes, and we
you know, the love that they have for us as well. So it makes it extra special. And then when you go to the next chakra with the heart chakra, well, that just fits in beautifully with Huskies and the way these guys love to sing.
Yeah.
So they're definitely about heart, and they're definitely about throat, about singing.
They do sing. I don't know if you've watched any of the YouTube videos, but they have a lot of Siberians. And
Yeah,
we
they
have
do.
a Siberian at the house, too.
Who extremely vocal,
Very vocal.
talkative.
But Lily is a little bit more quiet. She's quite reserved, and she's been to a lot of different places and done a lot of demos. She's been with the children. She's been with the elders.
Yep.
She's been in the school systems.
Yep.
So she's a good girl. We're happy to have her here today.
Oh, yeah, she's my go-to. As I was saying something to someone earlier, I've been doing school demos for a very long time, and it is a passion.
Shh, we're not giving up ages.
No. But I have had sled dogs for 20 years or 20 some odd
So you
years.
started when you were 2?
So I started when I was 2, yes, exactly. And in each group of dogs that I've had over the years, there's always been a dog that excels at going into the classrooms. It has to be a dog that's calm. And in the latest group of dogs, Lily is definitely the go-to dog for that sort of thing. She enjoys the interaction with the children, and she's very, very well behaved. And she's exceptional. She's just an exceptional girl.
Aligned, breathed, and connected. She's all 3 in one. She's got it all together now.
She's
for
got
all
it
of us.
together.
Yeah.
Like I said, she's an amazing girl.
But you've also brought the sled.
Yes, I did.
You know, this is the sled that was handmade, if I remember.
Correct. Yep.
Again, you know, being only, 22 years old, so 20
Right.
years ago. But
well, this was my
there's
second
a story
sled.
behind this. This is the second sled, and
Yeah.
there was a sled that you had before this, but this is a special wood. Tell us about this wood.
It's made out of ash. It's made by a gentleman from Pennsylvania, and that's what he does. Now I guess he's doing it more as his full-time thing because he's retired. But he and his wife make these sleds. It's all hand assembled. All of the ties are hand done.
And what kind of rope is this?
It's a nylon. It's a nylon rope. It has a double braking system on this one. We're not going to turn it around to show that.
No.
But it's a very lightweight object. It's long. It's 8 feet long.
Right.
But it's not horrendously heavy. There are racing sleds that are even half the weight of this. But the dogs love pulling it.
Because let me just say, in terms of the racing, I think Iditarod, and then I think Alaskan, and then that's the difference. Lily is an Alaskan Husky. The
Yes.
Siberian Huskies we recognize as these silver and white and black, very distinctive with the blue eyes.
Right.
But the Alaskan Huskies are different.
Yes, they are.
Because
they're sort of the cousin to the Siberian Husky. They have Siberian in them, but the way that the Alaskan Husky came about is Leonard Seppala brought Siberian Huskies over from Siberia.
Okay.
And Siberian Huskies are a smaller dog than what the village dogs are or were at that time. So the people there were kind of like, yeah, those little dogs, they're not going to win races. And then they found out, oh my gosh, they're really fast. So what happened is say you had a fast village dog and I had a fast Siberian, we let them get together. And over the years, that's how the Alaskan Husky came about.
But what's a village dog?
Well, the dogs that are native to the Alaskan people up there, they usually tend to be a bigger dog, not as big, maybe not as big as a Malamute, but some sort of a crossbreed.
Because they all look different. Like Spice looks like a hound dog.
Exactly. And how many times have I had when I had Dave? People went, "That's a husky."
Right. So what if they're bred off of the Alaskan?
The diversity,
native,
the diversity in the gene pool.
Yeah,
the diversity in the gene pool, and of course that gives you a healthier dog as well.
Like bison almost.
Almost, yeah. But it's when there's a closed gene pool, as in any of the dog breeds, eventually you could get genetic problems. You could get the hip dysplasia. You can get eye problems.
Yeah, so
because
true.
no matter how much you try, somewhere along the line there's going to be some inbreeding.
So they were bred really so that they could go fast.
So
I
that
remember
they could go
you saying
fast.
something
Yeah,
because the other dogs
faster.
were bigger, and the Siberians came in, they were smaller.
So this sort of came into the middle. And what they do now...
So they look all different kinds.
Oh, yeah.
They don't look like... A Siberian has a certain look.
Well, that's because the Siberian is an AKC breed.
Yes.
There are standards that they have to meet.
Yes.
It has to look a certain way.
Right.
It can only be a certain height. The tail has to be a certain way. All of these
things. And so they have the show.
So they have the shows.
The Alaskan Huskies are not allowed into the show.
No, they're not, because they're not an AKC accepted breed. Because they can't be traced back to a core group of dogs.
See.
Like I said, makes for a healthier dog. They
sturdy
can be bred,
to do the job,
sturdy
which
to
is
do
to
the
pull
job.
this sled.
And you can breed for speed, like if you're doing sprint racing. Some people are breeding to do that. Some people are breeding to do the Iditarod.
Right.
So there are different requirements.
Some people are breeding because, as we've seen, I don't know if you've ever been up to Alaska, but it's cold up there. And if you're out on a snowmobile and it runs out and you have to spend the night in the woods, you're probably going to be in a very bad situation. Yeah. So a lot of them use the sled dogs because just in case they're ever abandoned, they have the warmth and the I know, isn't it amazing?
Yeah, well, actually in a video that I have that I bring to the schools, Joe Reddington, who was, as they call it, the father of the Iditarod, had always said, if you're out there with a dog team and you have to hunker down, at least you're hunkering down with the dogs and they can keep you warm. An iron dog doesn't do that.
Yes, exactly. So there's a lot to not just the racing, but to the actually working nature of the lifestyle in Alaska. But here in Connecticut, they have a different lifestyle. They have an outdoor kennel.
Yep.
And then they have a kennel that's in the house, in the lower part of the house, in the basement area. Yep. Where, they have all of their protection and their own
They each have their own
spaces.
individual spaces. Yeah. And that way they're not out in the rain. They're not out in the severe cold. And of course, part of that was because they were adapted to the kennel.
They are wild, because if you do let one of them out and a squirrel just happens to jump through the air.
That'll be the last of that squirrel.
You can say bye-bye.
Yes, exactly.
Good night.
We've had squirrels that go flying through the maple trees over the kennel. and one of them missed the branch.
So do they have?
And that was the end of it.
Do they have wolf? They have wolf blood in them.
No
and
more
wolves
than
were
any other
bred
dogs.
to eat all the mice up there in Alaska, right?
Well, they really, you know, at this stage of the game, there's not really any more wolf in them than in most other dogs.
Truly.
Truly.
Because
Maybe
it
a
seems
drop or
that
two more.
It's got a lot more wolf than my Chihuahua does.
Well, maybe a few drops more.
Yeah.
Maybe a few drops more.
But so let's talk about, you know, when you have, you know, started doing the sledding, and you want to get up in here? You can get up
come
in
up in there.
You
Sure.
can get up in there. You want to get up in there?
This is the sled bag that we were talking about a little bit. This is something that goes on the sled, and you can put your equipment in here.
I've gotten into this.
Yes, I know you have.
I've gotten into it.
And we
it's
usually,
very easy to get into.
Yep. And we have our first aid kit for dogs and people that normally is in there. And sometimes we have a show host. And sometimes we have a dog. So the way the sled bag is constructed is if you were out on the trail, either on just a fun run or in a race, if a dog were to become tired or injured, you could actually put the dog in the sled bag.
Very good.
And transport them safely. I had to do that in a race because Jasmine hurt her leg, and she got to run the whole race in the comfort of the sled bag with all of her teammates pulling her.
Well, you know, I wasn't in the comfort of the sled bag when I was behind it or holding the dogs at that race.
No, you kind
What
of
happened then?
You got flipped.
I got flipped.
That's called you were in the wrong place at the wrong time.
I was in the right place, but
Yeah,
the person who was in their place didn't do their part.
Yeah, yes,
That's what happened.
That's right. You're absolutely right. The person up front wasn't holding the dogs
That's
correctly.
right. I did my part.
You did
and
your
I
part.
held
You
my
were in
ground.
the middle. She was in the middle of the team.
That's the middle
holding-
gets squeezed all the time. You know
Oh
that.
yeah, and the team took off, and the person that was at the front didn't do what she was supposed to do, and Kathleen did a whoop, and I turned around and I went, "You okay?" But there was no stopping, because once those dogs take off, we're gone. See you at the end of the race.
That's pretty much the truth there.
It is. Yeah, it is.
But because
take
they're
off.
very powerful, I don't know, that was a big team that day.
Yeah, it was
So
5
when you
dogs.
have a big team, you know, that's how many dog power versus horsepower, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So that was a huge team.
Yeah, it was
And,
either 5 or 6 dogs.
You know,
so
they
that's-
love doing it, though. These dogs
my
love
God.
to run. And even today, just bringing Lily over, it's interesting because all the other kids, they know.
Oh yeah.
They knew something was up. And,
They did.
And they're very jealous because they want to be a part of it, too.
I didn't.
Come, sweetheart.
I didn't tell any of them that we were doing anything, but they knew. And when I took her out, oh my goodness. Well, you heard what was going on down the cellar.
I brought cookies for you today. Hey, look at her looking
She's
at me.
she's going, they're going to be so jealous. Wait until I get back and tell them
So,
what this was all about.
And they do talk.
Yes,
Last
they
night
do.
they were talking at 2 o'clock in the morning, but we just came through that full moon.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, we
So,
did.
you know, that's what part of it is.
Yeah. But they do love to sing.
Yeah.
They do love to sing. They do love to
actually,
talk.
every day they sing. They come out with a vocalization.
Yep.
And it starts with a woo and it continues woo-wooing into a full-fledged,
Song.
basically, yeah, it sounds
Very-
like
a
it's
very
very much
beautiful
like
song.
a communicative.
Yeah, it
good
is.
night or good morning or
Or
whatever
we're just
song.
happy, we just had supper, we just had breakfast. We're just happy because it's today.
Yeah.
You know, so they're very good at that.
So the heart and the chakra of the heart and to the desire to love and to be loved, as I've said many times on Your Best You, even when I've brought on Melissa Cheney Cooper with the House of Meow,
Yeah.
where we want to be doing what we love to do. And I know that this is something that you love and you help the animals.
Yes.
Because unfortunately, even up in Alaska where you think everything is treated with respect, a lot of the animals if they're, you know, you think of the greyhounds, if their racing isn't producing, they don't get necessarily a good outcome.
No, not always.
So you have a connection with a woman up there.
Yes.
And she screens through the people who are
Yeah, she does,
interested in
right.
helping out, whether it's providing financial support or hosting.
Right.
Because
She
when we
does
went
help
up to
foster.
Boston, there was a woman who helped
Yes.
bring.
Yep.
As a matter of fact, I think it was.
No, it
was
wasn't.
it Jasmine?
It was Jasmine.
Jasmine, on the plane to Connecticut from Alaska.
From Alaska, yeah,
Right.
she was coming to visit. But there are certain people that will foster. But what Carol does is she goes to the shelter and she personally works with each of the dogs. She is spot on as far as assessment.
But how
is
do they
concerned.
come to her? How does she come?
She just goes to the shelter. She just
Oh,
has
she
the
goes to
connection
the
with that
shelters.
particular, with the shelter in Fairbanks.
So they're lucky if they get to the shelter, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
the lucky ones get to the shelter.
The lucky ones get to the shelter. You can imagine how cold it is up there.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah.
Because Lily was dropped off there, and then she was fostered by Miriam, and
Big yawn.
yeah, and Lily, talk about heart and soul and being patient. It took 9 months and 6 tries to get Lily from Fairbanks to Connecticut.
So it can be quite an ordeal to do that. And,
Yeah.
and everything has to be
It all has to-
temperature-wise good because when you're transporting the animals,
Yeah.
you can't just, throw them in a
No.
warehouse box and
No, exactly.
ship them.
But they wait for people that are coming to wherever the dog is going, and that person escorts the dog. But on one flight, it was like they could get her from Seattle to Boston, but they couldn't get her from Fairbanks to Seattle unless she was going to run alongside.
Yeah.
So, and I did bring a harness. If we'd like to show, I can show.
Yeah,
how
and
it is
sometimes
to
you
harness.
have to go through quite a few things.
Oh, yeah.
When you love someone, or, we call them someone because they are
They
ones.
are.
You're number one in our world, their love.
Absolutely.
So, Lily, we're going to have you show how to do the halter. What do you think of that? Does that sound
This
like
is
a
one
good
of the
idea?
harnesses.
Look at the expression. Huh? Hold the little rope for me so I can move around.
Lily,
her.
would you like to come over here?
I'm going to
We're
put
gonna
on your little
harness on?
halter and show everybody how to do it.
Want to put a harness on?
Not really.
Put that on?
Not really.
What kind of a look is that? She goes, oh, I'm digging the...
You brought me here to put that on?
Yeah, right.
Are there no sparkles on it at all? Let me
Didn't
get up,
any
sweetheart.
sparkles on it.
Choo, choo, choo.
I'll hold on to the sled
Yeah.
so you don't have to worry.
Yeah, just hold on to the sled. Beep, beep. I'm more worried about her paws. There we go. Okay.
Now she'll stay out of the way. She's very good at that. She'll stay out of the way.
You have a cookie.
She's more interested in cookies than than
course.
putting on a harness. Come over here.
Okay, so show her the harness.
Come on. You gonna come up?
Yes, of
Oh,
course
what a
now,
good
because
girl.
I was in it, now she has to get
What a
in it.
good girl.
It's a very fun place to be.
Here we go. Lily. Lily. Oh. And it goes over the head.
These have all just been recently cleaned.
Yes, they have.
I can see
Yeah.
they're nice and shiny pink.
There we go. One. And other foot. Oh, get him. She says, wait a minute, Mom, I'm standing on the sled.
Did you get it?
Nope, not yet. There we go. All
Oh,
right.
she's got it.
There we go. As you can see, the harness fits them very, very beautifully. It's all padded.
Yeah.
There's also reflective tape on it. So it's a good thing, even if you're walking a dog at night, to have a harness that has reflective tape on it. And then
Can you walk these dogs? Mostly
when
it's
they're
from what
really
I've seen. Yeah, they walk you, or
That's-
actually
yeah,
they
they do.
wish you were a sled and they'll pull
they'll
you.
pull you. I was able to walk Jasmine, but that was when she was
Yeah,
like
when they get
really
older,
old.
they do calm down quite a bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Quite a bit. And usually at that point, they come into other locations, as many of have been
Yeah.
in the kitchen.
Yep.
And what we do is we have the blankets, and so
All over
they,
the floor
yeah,
so they don't
that they have
slide.
safe passage
Yep.
and just a nice way to just be there.
And
Have
again,
their little
that's
water in their food and whatever bathroom things, but they're all taken care
whatever
of.
needs to be done, which is
Yeah.
part of the love that we have.
Well,
And-
isn't the thing basically that when you adopt the animal, the idea is you adopt its friends forever, not
That's
just
right.
suddenly
That's
decide that
nope,
it's,
that's
it's a part of your family.
A lot of people think that pets are disposable. That's not
Right.
That's not the way I am.
No.
You know, when they come, when I take them, that's their forever home. They are with me from the moment I get them until the moment they go to the Rainbow Bridge.
Well, that sounds like an interesting, long-term,
Yep.
you know, kind of extended relationship. I know we only have about 5 minutes left, you know,
Yep.
so, but I'm glad we were able to bring the two on together because
yeah.
we've had Lily on.
Yes, we have.
And I've brought the sled on and,
Yep.
and gone riding on the sled too.
Yep.
But it's nice to have them together. Thanks
Yes,
for
it is.
bringing the story again.
Oh, no
So
problem.
fur family is family.
Absolutely.
And you can have
And
as
it's-
many children as you can responsibly care for.
Exactly,
And as always, when it gets to the point where it's not responsible care, that's when, you know, people like yourself have to come in to take care of the animals
Yep.
that have no place to go, and they're put in
Exactly.
the shelters because people might have seen a Siberian and said, "Oh, I
Well,
want
that's-
it because it's beautiful."
Right. Well, that's probably one of
let's,
the
you know,
biggest
just-
problems that they're finding with Siberian Huskies.
Right.
Everyone falls in love with the cute little blue-eyed puppy. They don't know if they haven't done their research, they don't know what they're getting
We'll
into.
have to bring Crystal on
Yeah.
in next season. Thanks again, everyone, for always being here and coming by. I love everyone at Nutmeg TV. You know, we've got a big crew here today.
Yes, we
and
do.
I think before the show, we had a little pictures taken. I
Yep.
hope they'll be on Facebook. You'll get to see Lily and Joan and the crew here at Nutmeg TV. And so, you know, always remember, take care of yourself. Align, breathe, and connect. And when you're all aligned and taking care of yourself, then you can reach out and take care of others, which includes fur family.
Yep.
But you do have to start it yourself because you can't take care of anything or anyone
Unless you're taking care of yourself
taking
first.
care of yourself first. So that is always your best you, and the best way to do it is to be kind and loving to yourself, and then we can share the love. And that would be it. We share the love with you and hope that you have a wonderful Valentine's Day and come into the spring season. It's coming soon.
Yeah.
There'll be tulips and daffodils. And
Forsythia.
so we're probably going to have a March snow. And then, you know.
Well, they're saying that we might have a little bit of snow tonight even.
Well, we won't be sledding tonight.
No.
I don't expect to be sledding tonight.
No, I don't
Although we
either.
do have the sled here, and I'm all sled ready. Lily is too. She's
Lily's
got her
ready.
harness on, ready
Yep,
to pull.
She's ready to go.
Yeah. So anyway, I look forward to having you come back on the show, Joan. And when you come back, you can share some more stories about
Sure,
some of the
be
tales
happy to.
out on the trail, as we call them.
Yes, and we do have quite a few of those that we can.
Is there one little short one you want to tell the guests on your way out the door?
I don't know if we have enough time. I don't know.
You've got 2 minutes. You can
okay.
do
Well, I can
show-
tell you. Well,
short
I can
2-minute story.
2-minute story. Oh boy. The only thing I can think of is that.
How
is the
about
story
being
with-
lost out there and you have to have someone come and get you?
Well, I had the team take off on me, and I had to chase them for 2 miles, and I did catch them eventually, and then they tried to turn around and go back out. And at that point, I just called. I was within earshot of where we set up, and I called for George and Karen, and all of a sudden the team stopped. And I got one chance at this. I said, "Come on, guys, let's go this way." And they came towards me. And I grabbed the sled and I brought them in.
So they ran away from you.
Yeah, they did. They
One
popped
thing
the-
you're not supposed to do is let go of the sled.
Well, I had it tied off with the quick release. And it was the first time that quick release failed. And actually, it failed twice that day. Extremely unusual. But yeah, I still remember Sky and that team as they're bolting up the hill, looking back at me going, "Bye, Mom. See you later."
Bye.
Bye.